Welcome back into the 701. The
Ladies
summer
and gentlemen,
stew.
we're coming at you with episode Double Deuce. That's right. We hit number 22.
22. It's our favorite day of the week. It's recording day. That's
it should
right.
be y'all's favorite day of the week when this episode comes out.
Wednesday's their favorite day of the week.
Yes.
Ours
when they hear
Tuesday.
this, it's their favorite day of the week.
Absolutely. We've got a fun, exciting, jam-packed episode for y'all. Some NFL stuff because we've noticed that is what the public wants, and we give you what you want as our listeners most of the time. It is our show. We do
so
make
we
the
get
rules.
to do what we want.
Yeah, but you know, we try to filter it more towards y'all's desires, y'all's needs. There you go.
Fans, so that y'all will keep listening.
Exactly.
Listen anyway because it's awesome.
It is amazing. It is amazing. Speaking of fans, I'm going to start us off with our stat of the week. And our sponsor is probably our biggest fan, I would say.
One could say that is our biggest fan.
I would say,
that.
Definitely our number one fan, Miss Kay Shirtliff. Long-awaited shout-out to Miss Kay. We've recognized her a couple times, but she has not been our sponsor before. She provides much-needed feedback every week. About the episode. She just always lets us know what she loved, what she heard, and she's awesome. Her specialty is tea parties and anything related to hot tea. She is a wizard with the kettle, as we like to say. And her tea is amazing. Hit her up. Recommendations, how to do it, how to make it, even how to drink it, because there is a way to do it. That's what she taught us. And we are always excited.
I actually have a cup in front of me of it right now. I had her make it for me before the show, and let me tell you, it is good.
There was some that was some
Hits the
effects from
spot.
Nick right there. But she's amazing, and she brings your stat to you this week that the Texas A&M men's baseball team, because we don't have a women's baseball team. I don't know why I added men's in there. Texas A&M baseball team had 2 straight one-run wins against Louisville this past weekend in the Super Regionals to take us to the College World Series, baby.
We going?
That's right.
Omaha, baby.
Your boy's going to Nebraska.
That's what we like.
And it's because we're winners.
In light of our A&M team going to Omaha and Joseph bringing up that stat, I think that sets us up perfectly for our player of the week, Mr. Dylan Rock, who actually won SEC
Party like a rock
player
star.
of the week.
Let's go, Mr.
Let's
Rock.
just go over his season stats really quickly. 69 hits, 18 home runs, 18 home
He's a
runs.
guaranteed bomb. We've gone to see him play a couple of times. Really
61 ribbies. That's right. 61 runs batted in.
good. There you go.
Season average 332.
332.
Data boy.
That's hard to do, folks. And let me just say, step aside, Dwayne Johnson. There's a new rock in town. Like what I'm doing. I'm on fire with these puns tonight, guys.
That's right, baby.
Let's kick it off. Let's get started because we have a couple of good things to talk about. Tyreek, obviously, made headlines with his podcast. We're going to talk about that, and we're also going to talk about some extensions.
Free agency
Stuff, whether or not teams should extend certain players. So let's start off talking about my good friend, Tyreek Hill, on the Dolphins. The reason I think the Dolphins will be successful to make the offseason move for Tyreek. Well, Tyreek decided that he wants to give his opinions on some quarterback debates. They weren't really debates until now because he said it. But
I don't think they're still debates.
It's really not. Tyreek went on the air on his podcast and said that he would prefer Tua over Patrick Mahomes as his quarterback. Now, obviously, he's on to his team. He's got to support Tua. But he kind of came out and ripped the Chiefs as well as Patrick Mahomes, who were very nice to him in letting him leave. You know, they didn't have to let him go. He still had a couple years left on his contract. They let him go make money somewhere else. he said he was not utilized enough in Kansas City. Well, when you check the stats,
That's definitely not true if you ask me.
He overwhelmingly had the most targets over Travis Kelce, over every other receiver. But that's not what we're here to talk about. What we are here to talk about is his comparison. He would take Tua over Patrick Mahomes.
It's dumb because
as a quarterback.
Tua and Patrick Mahomes aren't even in the same conversation of quarterbacks. Like,
it's normally Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen. That's like we've even talked about that.
I don't even think you can put Tua in the top 10.
Dak's better than Tua.
I can name 15
Kirk
QBs.
Cousins is better than Tua
Kirk
now.
Cousins is an average QB.
Tua has not proven anything. Let's just get that straight right now. Tua has only proven one thing. He's accurate when you're throwing the 5-10 yard curl, slant, like
Speed out.
short kind of pass. And so Tyreek's out there talking trash about Patrick Mahomes. Not the smartest idea since you're in the AFC as well. But also just Patrick Mahomes was always good to Tyreek. Like, he would always get the ball to him no matter what. That interception he threw to end the
he's trying to force it into double coverage into Tyreek. Absolutely, because he's the playmaker of the team.
Yeah,
right?
there was no lack of respect
Mahomes,
between the Chiefs and Tyreek.
He was
at all.
I mean, it almost is. He's trying to make it seem like
there was a bad
Odell Cleveland situation where Odell hated Baker because Baker wasn't utilizing him enough and he wasn't getting the ball enough, even though he thought that he was open and that he thought he should have gotten more targets a game. But that's not even close to the same thing. Like, Tyreek definitely was utilized to his maximum potential at Kansas City.
I heard a stat today. Cooper Kupp obviously led the league in targets by far because he's the only receiver on his team. Number 2 was Devontae Adams last season with 169.
Also the only receiver on his team.
He was number 2. Tyreek's number 7, but Tyreek was 7th targeted in the league. That was 10 targets behind Devontae. So Tyreek was targeted 159 times. 13th on that list was Travis Kelce. So Tyreek led not only most of the league, but also very well on his team
by a lot
in targets. But I just think, and this is how most of the media is reacting, it is laughable that he's comparing Tua to Patrick Mahomes right now. Not saying that Tua could never be good, but as of right now,
we've seen what Patrick Mahomes is capable of,
and
right?
We've seen what
we know
Tua's
that
done.
He is absolutely baller, right? And we have seen nothing from Tua that would even make us think that he's on the same level as Patrick Mahomes.
Now, obviously, Tua has not had the weapons that Patrick Mahomes has had, or the coach.
Right.
And the coach is a big part as well. But Tua clearly has demonstrated he does. And even Tyreek said, arm strength-wise, Patrick Mahomes over
takes
Tua.
the cake.
But he said accuracy, Tua is better than Patrick Mahomes. And that's just... you don't have enough sample size because, of course, he's accurate from 5 yards out. He just can't throw the deep ball. And that's what we've talked about on this show as well. Obviously, I'm the Dolphins guy. I think the Dolphins are going to be successful this season. But we've already said that the majority of that success will be dependent on Tua because now he has everything he needs. He has a great tight end, 2 phenomenal receivers. Obviously, Tyreek's like top 5. And then Jalen Waddle's up there.
I think he's got some solid running backs too.
Yeah, he's got some good running backs because they got Chase Edmonds and Gaskin. So
yep,
yeah, they're good on.
And
offense.
they got Mostert.
Oh, you're right.
Too. So I guess 3.
Gaskin's their 3rd string. Yeah, they'll be
3
fine.
solid backs.
So I'm not gonna lie to you. Everything's in place for Tua to show the world, hey, y'all were wrong about me. But right now, we cannot come out here and be like, yeah, he's better than Patrick Mahomes. I mean, Tyreek, dude, come on.
And obviously,
You
Tyreek
played with Patrick
has
Mahomes.
to know something we don't because obviously we have not seen Tua throw a single pass yet.
I think Tyreek's trying to
seeing him in practice.
Tyreek's trying to justify his move from KC to
Right.
Miami, maybe. But everyone knows why. He wants money. He wanted money. And hey, go get your money. I'm not saying don't go chase your bag, but
you just can't come out
you
here
can't
with
come out and be like,
blasphemy.
yeah, the Chiefs, they just never utilized me. Dude, you were the one person he always threw the ball to. Like,
in clutch situations too, like against the Bills, right? He had that huge run, or I'm sorry, huge catch and run at the end of the game, right? So it's like you can't even argue that you didn't get utilized.
I mean, Patrick Mahomes throws it to you even when you're double covered. Like,
right.
Most of the time he'll whip it to you like 70 yards down the field, and I don't know why you're complaining about it. Like, I guarantee you're probably not going to get as many targets, would be my guess, because, Patrick Mahomes didn't have a number 2 receiver.
Well, when you face the Chiefs, who are teams like most worried about? Tyreek. They're worried about him because nobody can hang with his speed, right? Obviously, Travis Kelce is a problem, but like
he's a tight end.
The difference is that Tyreek Hill is so fast that like teams have to prepare differently for that than you would for a tight end.
And obviously, Tyreek's great. Like, we're not bashing Tyreek. We're just saying,
yeah, he's a great football player.
You can't come out and say stuff like this and not expect it.
He just kind of came out with some bogus words for everyone.
But, the Dolphins are they're one of those teams this season that everybody's kind of like, they could go either way. Obviously, like, they'll win the AFC East. That's a lock. But, like, after that, it's up in the air. They'll probably go, 12-5, 13-4?
I'm going to say 0-17, maybe.
That was
1-16. Right.
My realistic projection for their standings, probably about 10-7, 9-8, something like that.
I'll say 9-8.
I could see 10-7. We'll see. But Tyreek, you can't be saying stuff like that, buddy.
Well, hopefully he proves all of us wrong. And Tua maybe is the best quarterback in the league. I think we never knew it.
That we've just like pretty much put the spotlight on like the most important part of this discussion is that our podcast is better than Tyreek's because on here we speak the truth and nothing but the truth.
Tyreek speaks the non-truth. He speaks nothing but the lies.
Come on, Tyreek, you're better than that. All right, enough about Tyreek. Let's move on to our extend or don't extend session.
Well, we bring up 3 players.
Trace Amigos.
Where we have the option to extend or not.
We're going to take the place of the GM. We're going to decide, what do we do with these guys? These are guys that are demanding extensions, think they deserve extensions. They haven't gotten it yet. And basically, we're debating, do you give them their money or do you wait another season and let them play under the same contract? All right, so here we go. We are kicking it off. We're going to start off with Kyler Murray. Nick, extend or not right now? We're not saying don't extend, period, like ever. We're just saying like this season.
As of right now. See, I'm happy with the 3 that we're going to talk about because obviously they're the biggest 3. 2 of these, I feel like you can go either way.
Yes,
one of them I think is an obvious one. But you'll know who it is when we talk about him.
We also have not talked about our picks for this, so we're coming into this blind.
I still am not completely sure on whether or not I want to extend Kyler Murray.
You want me to go then? Because I do know.
See,
I'll give it to you straight, ladies and gentlemen.
The problem I have is the way he handled the offseason. Right after
he was a baby.
The Rams beat them in the playoffs.
We talked about that when that happened as well. He scrubbed his social media.
He
Cardinal
deleted
stuff.
all of the Cardinal stuff, changed his profile picture, unfollowed everything Cardinals related and whatnot. Kind of, I don't know, expecting something to happen, but he just kind of was a baby about the way he handled the loss. Oh man, I'll let you go.
I'm gonna say this. So Kyler's a great player.
I feel like he's very
talented. But we've discussed this about Dak. We've discussed this about LeBron James. We've discussed this about pretty much every player that we've put under review. Got him.
I think I would rather have. Yeah, I'm not going to extend Kyler Murray. Final answer, no.
That's what I'm saying as well. It's not about the regular season. I'm glad that you're a great regular season player. What have you done for me in the playoffs? You have not won a game.
See, because that's what the Cowboys have been getting roasted for this past season
Right.
is we were 12-5. Obviously, a very phenomenal.
We
On pen and paper,
extended Dak.
we were a phenomenal team, like one of the most talented.
We
I
should
think
have
you could
gone.
argue in the league.
Should have gone at least to the NFC Championship.
But like the reason why we're getting roasted is like, oh man, y'all had all that stuff in the regular season, but what'd you do in the playoffs? Lost round 1.
Kyler Murray and the Cardinals had a great start to the regular season. They were expected to go to the NFC Championship, then they bombed. And when they got to the playoffs, they got smoked by the Rams. Blown out.
And I want a leader at quarterback.
Interesting.
I don't want
That's a good
somebody
point.
that is going to get really. Obviously, it's okay. I understand getting angry with losing a playoff game, right? Because
Absolutely.
that means the season is over, and that could be like career changing.
You should be upset about
yes,
losing a playoff
absolutely.
game.
But the thing is you can't handle it that way. It should be like, oh, I got to work harder or whatever. And the thing was, he was in a great situation too. Like he had phenomenal receivers. He had a good O-line. He had a great tight end. He had
Good defense.
two very good running backs, James Conner and Chase Edmonds, right? And yes,
Right.
like you said, he had a great defense. He was in a phenomenal situation. So I don't know why you would be acting like so mad. And part of that playoff loss was on him, I feel like.
I would say a tremendous part of that play. Just like the Cowboys playoff loss was on Dak, I think the Cardinals playoff loss was on
I think
Kyler.
he just got flustered under the pressure.
The NFL is an offensive league.
was
If
just
you
that
can't generate
inexperience.
offense, it's on the quarterback most of the time.
Like I said, he's a talented young kid.
He's not. Okay, here's the thing. Let's preface the quarterback extension options by this. They want to get paid Deshaun Watson money. They want all their contract, because they reset the market with the Deshaun Watson contract. He wants Deshaun Watson money. That's what we're debating. We're not debating. I mean, if you're giving him like $18 million, go ahead. But he wants big money. He is not.
See, that's
proven.
the problem. Is whenever one player gets paid like a lot of money, they get this huge contract. Like all these other players are expecting it, but most of them don't deserve it. And I'm going to put Kyler Murray on that undeserving.
I am as well.
List.
Although he's only had 3 years. He's got 2 more years left on this current contract.
He's got plenty of
So he's not
time.
even needing to get extended right now. He's just hoping he does. He's demanding it. So we're both saying no as the GM of the Cardinals right now. Moving on to the second player. This is an interesting one. Lamar Jackson.
Lamar.
Extend or not this year. Lamar is also his own agent, so that makes things a little complicated. Not for our purposes, but just mentioning
Just
that.
for
The Ravens.
yeah, for them. Obviously, it doesn't mean anything for us. Ooh, that's a tough one for me because it's fun to watch Lamar play.
I'm also on the fence with this one as well.
It is so much fun to watch Lamar play.
He is so good.
It's just because he plays the quarterback position so much differently than everyone else in the league. Like, he seems like he's run first, pass second. But the other thing is, that arm can get you. It's sneaky.
It's gotten better. It's gotten a lot better.
He is
when he first
sneaky
came into
with
the
it,
league, his arm was not good.
He can sling that sucker
Yes.
so far. He's got a cannon.
They also haven't
obviously,
really given him receivers either.
I don't really think he's up there with Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes' arm talent, but I think it's sneaky to the point where if you're not careful, it can come and bite you. And like Joseph said, obviously he's not had a lot of receivers, right? I mean, his main target is Mark Andrews, which that presents a problem.
He's proven himself as well to be a really hard worker. Like a lot of people have said, he works hard on the offseason. He's not a baby like Kyler Murray. He doesn't
Absolutely.
pout. He has not once complained about his receiver situation. And he's done nothing but prove this league wrong. That being said, he's a running quarterback, which means you don't know what's going to happen in the future.
I'm not extending him.
I say extend him, but only for 4 years. And I think he wants a 5-year extension. I just don't think you can bet on that. But also, back to what we said with Kyler, Lamar wants big Deshaun Watson money, and I don't think he's earned that either.
They're not worth that, right? And so
He won MVP. He won a unanimous MVP a couple years ago.
Well, that's the thing. I'm glad you brought up the injury thing with him being a running quarterback because obviously he was injured for a little bit last year, and so that brings up the question of could it happen again? Obviously,
It could
since he's been injured
could very
before,
well happen again.
Could it be worse? And obviously, if you've been injured before, then that means that you're more likely to do it again because you've already been injured once. So I am sticking with don't extend.
I'm gonna have to say at least. I mean, okay. First of all, you're not gonna find anyone else, and second of all, like he's been good to you, but he's not worth the Sean Watson money. Maybe offer him an extension for 4 years worth 160 million, kind of like what Dak got, 40 million a year. But he's not gonna want that. So at that point, I would say not extend if he declines your first extension. Now, moving on with this one is a out of the park one for me and Nick. We already know where we're going with this one. Deebo Samuel, we're both saying extend.
Yeah, okay. Just making sure. Actually, I'm going to say
Deebo is worth every penny that he is demanding. You give him whatever he asks for.
Absolutely. I am doing whatever it takes to keep that man on my team.
If not, come to
I'm
Dallas.
The San Francisco 49ers GM, like, I'll buy you a Lamborghini.
I'll buy you 50 Lamborghinis.
And obviously his one gripe is that he doesn't want to have to play running back anymore.
Stop playing him at running back.
That's understandable because he's a receiver, so he wants to play receiver, right?
It lessens his value when he plays as a running back and a receiver because receivers aren't getting running back. He said running backs aren't getting paid like receivers. So if he starts becoming a running back, people are like, I can pay him running back money. He's like, no, I'm a receiver.
Because he's amazing. They rifle through running backs.
He's so good.
Nothing.
Like the skills that this man has, he is a clear-cut number one receiver.
He's got speed. He's got the speed of a receiver, the route running ability of a receiver, the pass catching ability of the receiver,
and a running like
when he catches, like he's compared to like T.O., who is considered like one of the best receivers of all time. Like he's up there in the runnings with Jerry Rice, Randy Moss, Calvin Johnson, and all those guys because like he just plays it like he's a running back. As soon as he catches it, he turns into like freaking Derrick Henry. It's insane.
Cowboys had the number one rated defense this past season.
You know what he did? He absolutely torched us.
Completely.
That's exactly what he did.
He just demolished the defense.
He had his way with us.
He really did, and we were there. It was not pretty, but like we had to. I mean, you have to recognize greatness even when it's against your team. And like he was phenomenal. And that's when you need your players to show up most, right? That's what we've been talking about. Lamar and Kyler haven't shown up in the playoffs. Well, guess who has? Deebo. And like obviously he can't do as much for the game as a quarterback can, but he deserves to be paid big money. And I think if he doesn't get paid, I think he might walk. And because he's going to get signed somewhere.
Well, because like I said, he's frustrated with the fact that they used him at running back. Right, like he wants to be strictly a receiver.
And basically, Kyle Shanahan needs to drop his ego.
I think he's putting everyone on thin ice. You know, like he wants big money, and then he wants to be receiver and receiver only. And I think if he does not get that, then he is probably going somewhere else.
As the 49ers, should you have a problem with that?
No.
No, because it's his position. That's what he played in college. Like. And he's good at it. If he was terrible at receiver, move him to running back, but he's great at receiver. Stop trying to make him something that he's not.
Right.
So extend Deebo Samuel. He is more valuable than any player you have on your team right now.
What I just thought of...
Would you agree with that?
What'd you say? Sorry.
More valuable than any player on the Niners.
Oh, absolutely. Okay. For sure. See, because the thing that I just thought of is it makes sense in a way why they put him at running back. It's because the way that the 49ers offense is, they're a run-heavy team.
They are a run-heavy team.
So they put Deebo at running back because he's obviously the best playmaker that they have. So if they put him at running back, then they can guarantee that he gets the ball in his hands. But obviously if he stays at receiver the whole time, he may not get the ball as much as you'd want to get it to him. So you just put him at running back so you can give it to him, right? But obviously,
they have a couple of good running backs. They have Elijah Mitchell. He's pretty good. I forget the other one. They have Trey Sermon, Juszczyk. Yeah. I mean,
Kyle Juszczyk, baby, juice.
They're good. They just need to move him back to receiver and then extend him. You're going to lose him, and you're going to regret that because you're in a division with the Rams, who are stacking their team right now. You need something to compete with that.
Absolutely.
But yeah, definitely extend Deebo.
All right. Well, here, as we like to end our shows on Under Review, we have an inspirational quote That's right. It's an inspirational quote. Once again, the 22nd inspirational quote that you have heard.
Will they ever stop?
No, they won't.
No, they won't.
They will never stop.
We will continue to inspire
Never
you.
stop, never stopping.
Ooh, okay.
This one is brought to
That's
you
not
by
the quote.
one of the greatest baseball players of all time, Ken Griffey Jr.
Amen.
When you have fun, it changes all the pressure into pleasure.
Agreed. Y'all go out this week. Y'all have fun. Hey, this episode was pretty fun to record, speaking of fun. And y'all just let us know if this is the style that y'all like or whatever. Because we'll probably be doing a few more like this over the
Another
next few
thing
weeks.
is, I was going to say, like he kind of alluded to it, is give us your opinion on this episode and like if you liked it or not and like things that you might possibly want to hear because
we have
we're about to
freedom.
hit some dead space kind of where
sports.
we get to do whatever we want because once the finals in next week, then
Next week will be a finals episode about whatever happens in the finals.
obviously there's plenty of baseball, but unfortunately
Middle of the season.
none of you fools like to hear that. Once again, shame on you. We said it last
Shame
episode,
on
but
you.
shame on you.
Baseball is America's national pastime.
It has
Get
always
on the
been
train,
our pastime.
or we will pass you by.
That is facts. But yeah, just kind of let us know because we have the next month or so to do whatever we want. So
we can probably work with whatever. We won't be talking about. I can tell you, we won't be talking about soccer. We won't be talking about tennis, golf. But just give us.
when I say
something.
anything, like
Try to keep it in the football
we're
area.
keeping it
if we
within
can.
reason. Okay.
Thank y'all for
anything
tuning
within
in this
reason.
week, though. And always give us your feedback. Always welcome
We will see you next time
on
under review.
God.